Hello everyone, this is part 6 of my Ruby Rose Minecraft pixel art tutorial. So we're going to start at the bottom right corner of the pixel art, where we left off in part 5. And I want you to find one black wool going diagonal, and it's going to be this here, this one black wool. And underneath it you should see 4 nether bricks going down. We're going to start from the bottom of the 4 blocks going down of these nether brick. We're going to start on the left side, so we're going to start there, and from that spot you'll place 3 placement blocks going across to the left. That's 1, 2, 3, and now switch to the nether brick, and starting on the left side of this placement block, you'll place 3 blocks going up. So that's 1, 2, 3. And now you can get rid of this. And now you're going to place 4 blocks going up on the left side. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And delete that. And now place a linked 5 blocks going up on the left side. A linked 5 blocks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should look exactly like this so far. And now we're going to place 1 block going diagonal up to the left. And that's 1. Now delete that. And now starting underneath this 1 block, you'll place 2 blocks going down underneath it. So that's 1, 2. So it should look like this. And now you're going to place a linked 2 blocks going up on the left side. A linked 2 blocks. So that's 1 and 2. And now starting next to this top block of the 2 blocks going up, so starting on the left side of it, starting there, you'll place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. So that's 1 and 2. Delete that, and it should look like this. So now let's go back to the first block of the 2 blocks going diagonal, so that block right there. And I want you to fly underneath it. So like this, directly underneath it, then look straight down, and then just drop without moving left or right. And once you land on this dirt block or grass block, you place 2 blocks going up, 2 placement blocks, where you landed. So it looks like this. It's underneath it. Now switch to the nether brick, and you'll place 2 blocks going alongside of it on the left side. So that's 1, 2. And now on top of the placement block, you'll place 4 nether bricks going up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And it should look like this. Now you can get rid of this. And now let's go up and a little bit to the left. And I want you to find this area here where we filled it in part 5 with nether brick. And let's go towards the bottom of it. So find this backwards upside down L shape here. And this is where I want you to be. We're going to move 1 level up to the right, and you should come across these 3 blocks going up. Now, we're going to start next to the bottom block of these 3 blocks going up. So we're going to start from that block there. Now switch to the placement block, and place 2 blocks going across to the right. So that's 1, 2. And now switch to the nether brick, and starting on the right side of this placement block, you place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the right. So that's 1 and 2. Now you can get rid of these. And now place 2 blocks going up on the right side. 1, 2. And now place a linked 3 blocks going up. It's going to be a linked 2 sets of 3s, but just for now, place a linked 3 blocks going up. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then place another linked 3 blocks going up on the right. So that's 1, 2, 3. As you can see, it was 2 sets of 3 linked blocks going up on the right. And now place 1 block going diagonal up to the right. That's 1. Now 4 blocks going across on the upper level to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now starting on the right block of the 4 blocks going across that you just placed, so starting from that block, you're going to count 2 blocks over to the left, this being the first one. So this is 1, and this is 2. Now, starting underneath this block, you'll place 2 blocks going across to the left. So that's 1, 2. It should look like this. Now, place 2 blocks going diagonal down to the left. That's 1 and 2. Now go ahead and get rid of those. Next, you're going to be filling in these 2 empty spaces with nether brick, so do that now. And it should look like this so far. So now let's go back down to the 2 blocks going diagonal that started this whole thing here. So let's go back to the 2 blocks, and we're going to fly underneath the first block that's going diagonal. So this first block that we just placed of this section. So fly underneath it, then look down, and then just drop without moving left or right. And switch to the placement block, and place 2 blocks going up from where you landed. So that's 1 and 2. Now switch back to the nether brick, and place 2 blocks going alongside of it on the right side. So that's 1 and 2. Now you can get rid of this. Now place a linked 2 blocks going up on the right side. A linked 2 blocks going up on the right. So that's 1 and 2. Now place a linked 3 blocks going up on the right side. 1, 2, 3. Now place 2 blocks going up on the right side. Now, notice I didn't say linked, it's regular 2 blocks. And now place 2 blocks going across on the upper level to the right. 1, 2, and delete that. Now place 6 blocks going across on the upper level to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Delete that. And now starting from the last block that we just placed of the 6 blocks going across, we're going to count 3 blocks in, this being the first block. So this is 1, 2, and 3. Now starting underneath this block, we'll place 2 blocks going across to the left. 1, 2. And now place 2 blocks going diagonal down to the left. That's 1, 2. And now 2 blocks going across on the lower level to the left. 1, 2. And now 1 block going diagonal down to the left. And that's 1. So it should look like this so far. Now you're going to be filling in these 2 empty spaces here. This one single space and this space here gets filled in with nether brick. So do that now. And it should look like this when you're done filling it in. So now let's go to the center of Ruby's chest, and you should find the tips of her hair on the left side. And I want you to find these 3 empty spaces going diagonal, and it's right underneath this H-looking section here. So for just a second, switch to the gray wool, and you'll fill in this one space here that's right underneath the H section with gray wool. So it looks like this. Now switch to the black wool, and with the black wool you're going to be filling in these 3 empty spaces here with black wool. So do that now. And it should look like this. Now we're going to move up from this spot that we just filled in. So move up, and you should find these 2 empty spaces here going diagonal. Go ahead and switch to the nether brick and fill these 2 spaces with nether brick. So it looks like this. So now you're going to switch to the oakwood planks, and I completely forgot that this pixel art had oakwood planks. I didn't even put it in the lineup here at the beginning of part 1, and you'll see why in a second. I forgot that this pixel art had oakwood planks, not just birchwood planks. So let's go to these 2 blocks going diagonal that we placed. And you're going to go straight up until you reach the outline of her face. And you should come across these 2 empty spaces going across and this 1 block going diagonal. Now you're going to fill in these 2 spots here with oakwood planks. So do that. And it should look like this. Now on the complete opposite side of her face. So this is kind of like her chin outline, her face. And you'll look all the way to the right, and you should see the same thing over here. 2 blocks going across, 1 block going diagonal, and you're going to fill that in with oak wood. And that's it. We're done with the oak wood. And that's why I forgot that I put oak wood in this pixel art, because we only used it for 4 tiny little spots. So that's why I completely forgot to put it in the outline. But you know what? It doesn't matter. I mean, you could have gotten away with it by putting birchwood, but it just looks a little better with oak wood. A little darker than what you see on her face here. So now that we're done with that, we're going to switch to the red wool next. Now with the red wool, let's go back to the left side of her face here, where we filled it in with oak wood, and move over to the left some more. And you should find this area here, this empty space. And I want you to go to the top left corner of this empty space. And here you should find 1 empty space here, just 1 block. Now, with the red wool, you'll place 2 blocks going diagonal, starting from this empty space, going diagonal up to the left. So that's 1, and that's 2. And it should look like this. Now switch to the nether brick, and place 1 nether brick on top of this red wool. Now, switch to the red wool, and starting on top of this nether brick, place 2 blocks going across to the left. 1, 2. And now place 1 red wool on top of this block here, of the 2 blocks going across. So that's 1. So it looks like an L shape. Now switch back to the nether brick, and starting from this empty space, you'll place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2. Now switch back to the red wool, and place 1 red wool on top of this nether brick. So that's 1. Now switch back to the nether brick, and place 1 nether brick on top of the red wool. And that's 1. Now, staying in this section here, this empty section, you're going to fly all the way up until you reach the top of it, of these 2 black wools going across. You're going to switch to the red wool, and from this block here, underneath that block, you'll place 2 red wools going diagonal down to the right. So that's 1 and 2, and it should look like this. Now switch to the nether brick, and from this empty space, you place 2 nether bricks going diagonal down to the left. So that's 1 and 2. And now place 1 nether brick going diagonal down to the right. And that's 1. And it should look like this so far. Now switch back to the red wool, and we're going to fly down here, back to this area, and we're going to move a little more to the left until we come across this single empty area, this 1 block space that's empty. And from this empty spot, you'll place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left with red wool. So that's 1, 2. Now switch back to the nether brick, and from this spot, you'll place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. So that's 1, 2. Now switch back to the red wool, and from this spot, you'll place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2. And now you'll place 1 block going diagonal up to the right. And that's 1. Now switch back to the nether brick, and from this empty spot, you'll place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. 1, 2. And now place 1 block going diagonal up to the right. And that's 1. And it should look like this so far. Now we're going to move over to the left and skip this area. We're going to skip this area and continue moving to the left until we reach this section here. That's also part of this large area of her hair. So, from this area, you're going to switch to the red wool, and starting on top of this black wool of the 3 blocks going down, you'll place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. So that's 1 and 2. And it should look like this so far. And now you're going to switch to the nether brick, and starting on top of this red wool, the first red wool that we just placed, you'll place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2. And then place one block going diagonal up to the right. That's one. And then place one block going diagonal up to the left. And that's one. Now switch to the red wool and fill in these two empty spaces here between the nether bricks with red wool. So do that now, and it should look like this. So now let's continue to move over to the left, and you should come across the end of her hair here, like the tips, and switch to the nether brick. And with the nether brick, we're going to move over here to the very end of the pixel art on the left side, and find this one block diagonal and these two blocks going up. Now this is where I want you to be, these two blocks going up, and you're going to start from the top block of the two blocks going up on the right side, so there. And place two blocks going across to the right. It's 1, 2, so it looks like this. And now place 4 blocks going diagonal up to the right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And it should look like this so far. And now we're going to move down from the 4 blocks diagonal and find this backwards upside down L shape here, this section. And we're going to start next to the top block on the right side. So we're going to start there. And place 2 blocks going across to the right. That's 1, 2. So it looks like this. And now, from this block, you'll place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the right. 1, 2. Now place a total of 2 sets of 2s. So 2 sets of 2s going up on the right side. So that's 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. Go ahead and delete that. And it should look like this so far. And now let's go back to the first set of the 2 sets of 2s going up on the right. And we'll start from the top block of it. So from that block there on the left side. So that. Now, on the left side of this block, you'll place 3 blocks going diagonal down to the left. So that's 1, 2, 3. Delete the placement block, and it should look like this. Now let's go back up. And from this block, you'll place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the right. So that's 1, 2. Delete those. And now place 2 sets of 2s going up on the right side. It's 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. Now delete that. Now place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the right. 1, 2. Now let's fly back down to this area to where we had the 2 sets of 2s, and then we had 3 blocks going diagonal down to the left. Now from this section, you're going to move up from the top block of the 3 blocks going diagonal. You're going to move up, and you should come across these 3 black wools going up, and underneath it, you'll place 1 nether brick there. So it should look like this so far. Now let's move back over here to the left and find these 3 black wools going up that's on top of these 2 nether bricks going across. Now we're going to find the center block of the 3 blocks, so it's there on the right side. So it should be right there. And from that area, you'll place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the right. So that's 1, 2. And delete that placement block. Now switch to the red wool and place 1 red wool on top of this nether brick. Now switch back to the nether brick and place 1 nether brick on top of this red wool. So it looks like this. Now we're going to move down to the ends of her hair and fill in these 2 empty spots here with nether brick. So that's 1, 2. Now we're going to move over, and you should see these 2 empty spots here. You're not going to fill them in. They stay empty, so you'll move over to the right and see these 3 blocks going diagonal. You'll fill these empty spaces here with nether brick, so do that now. and it should look like this. Now, once you've done that, we're going to move back to this area here, where we placed the 2 blocks going diagonal after the 2 sets of 2s. And we'll start from this 1 block here. Now, from this 1 block, you'll place 3 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2, and 3. And it should make contact with this black wall. Let's delete those. Now let's go back to the first block of these 2 blocks going diagonal up to the right. So going back to that block, you'll place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1 and 2. And it should make contact with the black wall. So delete those placement blocks now. And now let's go back to this block. So in total, as you can see, if you apply back, in total, this is 3 blocks going diagonal, and in total, this is 4 blocks going diagonal. So, we'll refer to this as 4 and this as 3. So let's go to the first block of the 4 blocks going diagonal up to the left. So let's go to this block, and what you're going to do is count 2 blocks up diagonal. So this being the first one, so that's 1, and that's 2. Now this is where you want to be. From this block, you'll place 2 blocks going diagonal up to the right. So that's 1 and 2. And delete that placement block. And now from this block, you'll place 1 block going diagonal up to the left. So, oops, that's 1. And now from this block, place 1 block going diagonal down to the left. And that's 1. And delete that. And it should look exactly like this so far. Go ahead and pause the video now if you need to. So now let's go back to the 3 blocks going diagonal. So this area here, 1, 2, 3. And let's start from this block. Now from this block, place 1 block going diagonal down to the left. That's 1. Delete that. And now place from this block 5 blocks going diagonal up to the left. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it should make contact with the black wall there. And it should look like this so far. And now you're going to switch to the red wall. Now with the red wall, we're going to move up to this block here of the blocks that we placed diagonal. And on top of it, place 1 red wall. So it looks like this. Now switch back to the nether brick, and on top of the red wall, you'll place 5 blocks going diagonal down to the right. So that's 1, 2, whoops, that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it should make contact with this black wall here. So get rid of these 2 placement blocks. So now let's go back to this nether brick, the nether brick that we placed a red block on top of. And switch back to the red wall and place 1 red wall underneath this nether brick. And now switch back to the nether brick, and starting underneath the red wall, place 3 blocks going diagonal down to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3. Now go ahead and delete the placement blocks. Now from this block, you're going to place 1 block going diagonal down to the left. And that's 1. And delete that. And it should look like this so far. So now we're going to move over to this area here, this empty section. As you can see, this section is already filled with nether brick, and over here we already have a small part of it filled with nether brick. Now we're going to work on this space, the space in between these 2 nether brick patterns. Now you're going to switch to the nether brick, and as you can see, this nether brick is making contact with the 9 black walls going up, and with the nether brick starting on the top block of the 9 blocks going up on the right side of it. So there, place 1 nether brick. So that's 1. Now switch to the red wall, place 1 red wall underneath it. Switch back to the nether brick, place 1 nether brick underneath it. Now switch back to the red wall, place 1 red wall, Now switch back to the nether brick, and starting underneath this red wool, you'll place 6 blocks going diagonal up to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now go ahead and delete the placement blocks. And now what you're going to do next is switch to the placement block. And starting from this nether brick, the first block of the 6 blocks going diagonal, you'll place 1 nether brick on the right side, so it looks like this. Now switch back to the nether brick, and starting on the right side of this placement block, you'll place 7 blocks going diagonal up to the right. So that's 1, 2, 3. By the way, I think I called this nether brick. It's placement block. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Go ahead and get rid of the placement blocks. And it should look like this. 6 blocks diagonal, and then 7 blocks diagonal. Now you're going to switch to the red wool, and underneath the 7th block of the 7 blocks going diagonal, you'll place 1 red wool there. Now switch back to the nether brick, and underneath the red wool, you'll place 4 blocks going diagonal down to the left. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now delete the placement blocks, and it should look like this so far. And I forgot 1 nether brick, so we'll find this easy. So go back to this nether brick here that's touching the top of the 9 blocks going across, and then just move over to the right on the other side of this black wall and place 1 nether brick there. So it looks like that. It's 1 single nether brick that I forgot. Alright. Now you're going to switch to the placement block, because now comes the fun part for all of you. We're not done with it. We are far from done with this pixel art, so don't get too happy. What we're going to do with the nether brick... I keep calling it nether brick. What's wrong with me? What we're going to do with the placement block is move over to the left side and find this 1 single empty space here. You're going to fill that in with the placement block. Now, the reason I'm going to be doing this for this pixel art and future pixel arts as well is just to make sure you don't accidentally fill it in with the wrong block, or even blocks that aren't even supposed to be filled in, or spaces that aren't supposed to be filled in. Now, from that 1 spot that we just filled in, you're going to move over to the right until you find this area here, this weird looking shape. It's right below this large area, so you're going to fill in this section here with the placement blocks. So do that now. It's going to be less confusing, trust me. So now let's go to the left side. Actually, the right side. I mean, technically it's the left side if you're looking where she's looking over there. But let's go to the right side of this pixel art, so this area. And I want you to find this backwards L shape with this 1 single block diagonal. It's right underneath this large area that's also touching the outline of her face. So find this section here. You're going to be filling in these 2 empty spaces with the placement blocks. So it looks like this. Now we're going to move over and skip this section and find these 2 empty spaces here going diagonal up to the right. You're going to fill them in with the placement blocks. So it looks like that. And I think that's about it. So the next thing you're going to do is have some fun. What we're going to do is switch to the gray wool. And with the gray wool, you're going to fill in this single large area here with gray wool. Now it's going to be 2 areas. You're going to be filling in this area with gray wool, and you're going to be filling in this area here with gray wool. Now remember, stay within the black wool outline. Don't go crossing any black wools. Shut up, cow. You're going to be filling in these 2 sections here with gray wool, so do that now. And when you're done filling it in, it should look like this. Now you're going to switch to the nether brick, and with the nether brick, you're going to be filling in this single section here with nether brick, staying within the black wool outline. So do that now. And when you're done filling it in, it should look like this. Now you're going to be filling in 4 sections with black wool, so pay close attention. The first section we're going to be filling in is down here from the gray, the bottom left corner. And you're going to be filling in this section here. This is the first section. Fill it in with black wool, staying within the black wool outline. Now you're going to move, actually it's going to be 5 now that I'm counting it. So that's 1, that's the first one. And then you're going to move up here and fill in this section with black wool. Again, staying within the black wool outline. And then you're going to move over and then fill in this section here with black wool. Again, staying within the black wool outline. And then once you've done that, those are the first 3. You're going to move up here and fill in this section here with black wool. And then move over to the right side. And then fill in this section with black wool. I guess technically it's 6 because you're going to fly up here too and fill in this one small space here with black wool. In fact, do that now just so you don't get lost and confused. So now in total, it's a total of 5. So go ahead and fill in those sections with black wool. And when you're done filling it in, it should look like this. Now you're going to switch back to the nether brick, and you're going to go to the bottom right side of Ruby's here. So this area here. And you're going to move up a bit until you find the 9 blocks going up on the right. These are the only 9 blocks going up on the right, so find this area here. And we'll start from the top block of the 9 blocks going up. Now, starting next to it on the left side, so starting from there, place 2 nether bricks going across to the left. So that's 1, 2. So it looks like that. So now that we have those 2 nether bricks, what you're going to do next is fill in this entire section here with nether bricks, staying within the main black wool outline. What I mean by main is this, just this outline you have to worry about. Do not cross it. That's why I also made you put placement blocks here. So just fill in all of this section, including the tiny sections, with nether brick. And once you've done that, make sure you don't cross over, like over here or anything. And once you've filled in this area, you're going to move over here to the left, and you're going to be filling in all of this section here, including the small spaces, with nether brick. Not crossing over up here. Don't fill in this area. Don't fill in this area. In fact, you can fill this in with black wool. Fill in these 2 spaces here with black wool. I don't want to overload you with just too much filling in, because you might get confused. So again, as a quick recap, this area here gets filled in with nether brick. We'll fly over. These 2 spaces here, this space and this space, gets filled in with black wool. And then this entire section here, all of this section here gets filled in with nether brick. So do that now. And when you're done filling it in, it should look like this. Now, I'm sure there are some dummies out there that got carried away or overzealous and accidentally went over the black wool outline here and probably filled in this section because there was nether brick also attached to this area. Now, because I'm nice, I'll go ahead and correct your mistake. Now, if you were one of those dummies that accidentally filled in this section with nether brick, I'll remind you again. From the black wool, just so you can fix it. From the black wool, it's 9 nether bricks going across to the right. And then on the lower level, it's 3 nether bricks going across with this area filled in. So if you were one of those dummies that accidentally filled this in, go ahead and delete that now. Not the placement block. Now let's go back up. Now it was these 2 tiny sections here that got filled in with black wool. Not these large areas. So if you fill that in, then I don't know what to tell you. It's too bad for you. So let's go down. And now that we filled in the ends of her hair with nether brick, we're going to switch to the red wool. And with the red wool, we're going to be filling in all the empty sections here on the left side of Ruby's clothes. And on the right side, you're also going to be filling in all the empty sections with red wool, including those little spots there and everything over here. So Ruby's clothes gets filled in with red wool, all the empty spots. So go ahead and do that now. And when you're done filling it in, it should look like this. Now you can go ahead and get rid of the safety placement blocks that we put in the pixel art earlier. There was a total, I think, of 5 or 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so there were a total of 6 placement blocks, safety placement blocks, just in case you accidentally fill that area in. So go ahead and delete those. And I'm going to go ahead and pause here and continue my Ruby Rose Minecraft pixel art tutorial in part 7. So be sure to stay tuned in for more Minecraft videos.